Pronunciation of English Vowel Sounds. Lesson 5. Diphthongs. Hello everyone. It's finally time to talk about the last group of vowels, the diphthongs. They are I, ow, oi. I, ow, oi. Let me give you some keywords. I, tie, ow, cow, oi, toy. So what is a diphthong? If you've never heard this term before, think about the way it's written. Diphthong. It's spelled with D-I. Diphthong. Di means two. We're putting two sounds together. Two single or pure vowel sounds together. A single vowel is like E or I. You can see in the phonetic transcriptions for the diphthongs that there are two symbols and we're putting them together. What we need to do is move from the first sound to the second. The first sound is going to be louder and longer, and then we glide into the second. This description may sound familiar to you. We've actually done this kind of movement from one sound to another over here. O. In that sound, we also had a beginning and an ending sound, a movement from one sound to the other. But these are the three traditional diphthongs. The movement from one sound to another is more noticeable. It's less noticeable here and here, although you see that these sounds are also written with two symbols put together. Which two sounds are we putting together for each of our diphthongs? There are different explanations, and our explanations vary partly because our pronunciation varies. But in general, all teachers agree that for these traditional diphthongs, we're moving from a more open position to a more closed position. I will explain more in detail and more accurately, but just so you get an idea of what's happening, let me tell you at this point that I moves from here to here, generally. And for owl, we're moving from here to here, again, speaking generally. And for oi, we're moving from here to here, again, from a more open position to a more closed position. The first vowel sound being longer and louder, and then gliding into our second sound. Now let me take the time to explain how we produce each of the diphthongs. Our first diphthong is I. I, as in tie, tie. We're moving towards this sound, E, but where are we moving from? We need to start from a more open position, down here. I. Remember, the first sound is going to be louder and longer. We don't fully move into E with our lips fully spread, but we come close. Start in a more open position, ah, and then glide into E. I. Tie. Let's talk for a moment about vowel length. If you recall at the beginning of this series, I explained how a consonant can affect the length of a vowel that comes before it. There's a difference between voiced and voiceless consonants. Do you remember? Well, T, 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 is voiceless. D, 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 is voiced. If a vowel sound is followed by a voiced consonant, like D, d, the vowel sound is longer. If a vowel is followed by a voiceless consonant, like T, t, the vowel length is shorter. So let's take tight. I'm going to make this tight, very tight. Tight, tight. I have this vowel sound, but because the T follows, it's shorter. Now let's talk about time. Time. M. M is a voiced consonant, so the same sound now becomes longer. Because it's longer in the word time, you're going to see more movement in my mouth. There will be more noticeable movement from an open position to a closed position. Watch closely again. Tight, time. Tight, time. Do you hear the difference in length? And do you see the difference in movement?
It may help you to know that there's a slight Y sound, y, that makes the glide possible, I. This long I sound is usually spelled with an I or IE, although there are other spellings. Let's first say this as an open sound. Tie, high. Now let's say it followed by a voiced consonant. Tide, hide. And finally, we'll follow it with a voiceless consonant. Tight, height.
The next diphthong we'll practice is ow. Ow, as in cow, cow. Again, you'll see movement from a more open position to a more closed position. This time we're moving from around here to here. So our lips are moving in to a circle. Not a tight one as in ooh, but approaching that. Cow, cow, ow, ow.
It may help you to know that we're using a slight W sound, w, to make this glide possible. The ow is often spelled as OW or OU. Let's practice it as an open sound first. Cow, how. Now let's practice it followed by a voiced consonant. Noun, loud. And finally, we'll practice this sound followed by a voiceless consonant. Out, house.
The last diphthong we'll practice is oi. Oi, as in toy, toy. Oi. Once again, you'll see a more open position move into a more closed position. Oi, oi. We're moving into E. Again, not a full spread, E, but close to that. Oi. Where are we starting? There's a lot of variation with diphthongs. You see this sound, but we're not really saying oi. Actually, I'd argue it's more around here. Oi, oi. So more of a mid position to a high position. Oi, oi. toy, toy, oi.
It may help you to know that we're using a slight Y sound, y, to make this glide possible. Oi. The sound is written as OY or OI. Let's first practice oi as an open sound, as in toy, boy. And now let's follow this sound with a voiced consonant. Noise, join. And now we'll practice the sound followed by a voiceless consonant. Voice. Exercise 1. Answer the questions. 1. Say I. When is your tongue in a higher position? I. It should be in a higher position at the end of the word, I. Move from a more open to a more closed position. I. 2. Say ow. When are your lips in a smaller circle? Ow. Your lips should be in a smaller circle at the end of the word. You're moving again from a more open to a more closed position. A smaller circle happens at the end. Ow. 3. Say joy. When are your lips more spread? Joy. Your lips should be more spread at the end of the word. Joy. Again, you're moving more towards E at the end, so you're pulling your lips outward. Not into a full spread E, but close. Joy. 4. Say ride and write. Which vowel sound is longer? The I in ride should be longer because the D is a voiced consonant. Listen again. Ride, write. 5. Say my and might. Which vowel sound is longer? The Y in my is longer because it's an open sound. T is a voiceless consonant. My, might.
At this point, we've now practiced all of the English vowel sounds. There are other combinations I could present. For example, well, we've talked about diphthongs. Can you guess what triphthongs are? It's taking our traditional diphthongs and adding another sound, particularly this one, What if I do this? Ire. Ire. Ire is a triphthong, as in the word fire. Fire. Ire. How about owl? Hour. Hour. Hours. How many hours in a day? Hour. Hour. And our last triphthong, oyer. Oyer, as in employer. Who is your employer? Oyer. Oyer. So we can talk about diphthongs. We could also talk about triphthongs.
Exercise 2. Listen and repeat. Let's practice ire, as in fire, liar. Now try the triphthong oyer, as in employer, and foyer. And finally the triphthong hour, as in the word hour. Now say power.
Let's review our diphthongs one more time. Repeat after me. I, ow, ow, oi, oi. Now let's review the key words. I, tie, ow, cow, oi, toy.
While making this lesson, I found it helpful to look at these sources. I think you would find them helpful too. Additional practice for this lesson is available at EnglishCafe.com. Follow the direct link listed in the video description. Practice includes a full review of the vowel sounds.
Well, that's all for now. I hope you found this lesson useful. Thanks for watching and happy studies!